What if this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go? What if there's somewhere we need to go and they don't let us? We may not be perfect, but the safest hands are still our own.
The first Avenger, Steve Rogers volunteered for the Super Soldier program that transformed him into the stoic superhero known as Captain America. Becoming a member of Earth's mighty Avengers, would Steve identify as a Jedi, a Sith, or perhaps somewhere in between?
And yet another overdue episode on a series that I started and did barely anything with. Anyway, for this episode of Jedi or Sith, we are of course observing Captain America from the Marvel franchise, and attempting to figure out if he would best fit the ranks of the Jedi or the Sith, or perhaps somewhere in between. For the sake of criteria, we can and will mix and match the various continuities from both Marvel and Star Wars. Also, you may have noticed that my girlfriend has returned to do another video with me again, after our collaboration on my first fusion battle was so well received. Now let's get this episode underway.
An agile and swift combatant, Captain America combined his mastery of martial arts with use of his shield, practically being an extension of himself. An honourable man, Steve Rogers fought to protect the innocent, and held high respect for the chain of command, but could also take charge when needed.
That said, if he disagreed with his orders or the decisions of his allies, he would speak out and even go against them if he felt it was necessary, which could sometimes lead to conflict. The Civil War storyline being the most notable example. In addition, he was not beyond killing those that were too dangerous to be left alive, but he wasn't devoid of sparing lives. With all of that out of the way, let's take a look at the various types of Force users and try to see which may be suited to our good captain.
We all know who the Jedi Knights are, servants of the Republic and keepers of peace, and they dedicate themselves to the will of the light side. Preservation is one of the Order's most important goals. To them it is considered precious. Initially, this seems like something that could suit Captain Rogers very well, as he is a selfless and noble character. Despite this, he sometimes butt heads with his superiors and allies when he believes that certain actions or lack of are wrong. So for this, it is possible that this could lead to some issues with his role among the ranks of the Order.
Due to this, the first main variety of Grey Jedi is our first strong possibility for the captain. The first variety of Grey Jedi are members of the Order that often reject the will and decisions of the Jedi Council, or even the Galactic Republic. These sorts of actions are similar to those that caused the infamous Civil War storyline, and as such are something that we will have to consider when it comes to the final verdict. The second variety of Grey Jedi are those that pull a portion of their power from the dark side of the Force, but do not fully commit to it. This type of Force user can be seen among the ranks of the Order, or even as a lone wolf. While Captain America does sometimes make use of an aggressive fighting style, he typically remains in control of his actions, and doesn't often resort to extreme measures, so a use of the dark side is something that I consider unlikely. Lastly, the third typical type of Grey Jedi are those that belong to a faction not belonging to the traditional Jedi Order, yet do not commit themselves to the dark side. Out of these three types of Grey Jedi, the first variety is possibly the strongest contender so far. That said, we still have two more types of Force wielders to cover, so let's see what else there is.
Darksiders who don't belong to the Sith are known as Dark Jedi. These Force users often follow their own personal and often selfish or self-centered desires and ambitions. They tend to pull the majority of power from the dark side of the Force. Some Dark Jedi are former members of the Order that fell from grace. While Captain America did leave the Avengers in the MCU, and has gone rogue a couple of times in the comics, he never lost sight of his noble purpose, so this is something that is unlikely.
The Sith are the direct opposite of the Jedi, an ancient order dedicated to the Sith code and philosophy of life. These Darksiders often focus their attention on things such as the acquisition of power and domination, usually for their own sake, resulting in a lack of regard for others. While there are a select few who believe what they are doing is right, Steve Rogers is not likely to be deluded into thinking that such dark influence could benefit anyone. Also, the Sith tend to view those outside of their ranks as beneath them. Such moral degradation is something I'm sure that many of us would consider to be beneath Steve Rogers.
After much deliberation, we believe that Captain America's personality and other traits would be best suited to a life within the ranks of the Jedi Order. However, unlike traditional Jedi, we believe that he would instead fall into the first category of the Grey Jedi, ultimately being considered something of a maverick. His willingness to go outside the beliefs and orders of his allies and superiors is the biggest testament to this. If we were to give a character example of who we most likely compare him to, my mind first goes to Qui-Gon Jinn and Ram Kota. Qui-Gon Jinn was considered a maverick and a Grey Jedi by many due to his reverence, as opposed to strictly following the decisions of the Council. This is what led Anakin Skywalker becoming a Jedi. Ram Kota believes that the Jedi needed to take a more proactive approach in their galactic affairs, and was pragmatic, and even military-minded, thanks to his life as a child on his homeworld. The mindsets of these two Jedi Masters fall in line very well with Steve Rogers' own beliefs and personality.
Thank you for watching this installment in Jedi or Sith. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you agree, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below. If you feel differently, also be sure to let me know, as this series is one of the most fun topics of discussion for me out of everything I've ever done on this channel. Well, thank you all once again, be sure to follow me on Twitter to stay updated, and be sure to stay tuned for the next episode when we are covering Spawn, as voted for by you. Until then, a big thank you to everyone watching, and of course to my girlfriend for collaborating with me on this video, and like always, may the Force be with you.